I'm good to go when you are here, Dave, for this final. Just a bit of catching up to do. But as always, WDC2 starts off with 1v1s here. And we've got best of 7 in total. So potential of 9 games. And Barbataco's crazy story. I don't think they were expecting themselves to make it to the finals. We've got the 2 classic Brazilians, Miguel Dogal, and then Kingston
joined them. They went to the losers bracket, I think.
Yeah, they did. They fell into the losers bracket, and they played 6 in.
I remember casting one of the sets they lost, and they didn't look like that great. But then suddenly they're in the finals here. Also, Dreamers had a great run, and finally got taken down by GL yesterday. But here we are. First 1v1 match. We got Hera against Miguel, and we've got Emargosa, which is usually one of the maps they choose for 1v1. I think I've seen this on Team Game like once.
Yeah.
And it was a shit show.
Yeah, it's I don't know how much the players really think about it. I imagine if you're Gamer Legion, you definitely want to make sure that there's no funky maps. But the benefit for Gamer Legion, both in 1v1s and team games today, is they're up against a team who likes the open, simplified maps. This is not a team who's going to go for too many outside of the back strategies. So I'm really hoping we get a competitive final, but obviously before this event was announced, everyone kind of expected GL is going to win, and I do think GL have great odds here. Let's just say that, to win this final.
Miguel's map is horrible. Look at the wood. Oof.
Yeah.
He's got that one little area over to the right, but if you compare it to Hera's base, like Hera's base is kind of locked down, easy back wood line, as long as it doesn't get cut off. And yeah, this is going to be a little rough for Miguel. It's very open there.
Miguel has this. Miguel told me that, and maybe this is part of their success. It's an interesting story. So they didn't prepare a lot for this tourney. Miguel's not as active, right? Dogal even not quite as active, and then they never played with Kingston before. And it was, I think, mid-group stage. He said the 1v1 saved them, and what he meant by that was they apparently hadn't really looked through strategies or anything or practiced too much. But then Dogal had like a 90-minute 1v1 against Kapotch in the second 1v1.
Oh, and they just,
Miguel said,
some strats.
Miguel said we had so much time. We just cooked up all our strats then. He said if Dogal would have won fast or lost fast, we wouldn't have made it out of the group stage, which I think is just crazy. So,
and like knowing Dogal, if they tell that story, Dogal's going to take all the credit for that story.
100%.
Like not them cooking up the strats. He'll be like, yeah, I held on for 90 minutes. Yeah. It was part of the plan. Yeah.
Yeah. Without me, they'd be nothing, you know? So Tatar's here for Miguel, and then Turks for Hera, which I just now realized could be a great scout civilization, but not your typical pick, I think, for a map like this.
Dude, Tatars is kind of a standard pick here. You know, there's a lot of hills. You get the cheap bonus as well, and it's just makes sense, right? Turks, I haven't seen. I do remember one game on this map, though, very vividly, and it was King Boo against Leary, and King Boo should have won. Like
I remember that
times.
game in the qualifier.
And he just didn't. Yeah, and he was heartbroken. But he went for a unique unit Aram by Siege push. I don't think Hera's going to go for Janissaries, but keep that strategy in mind potentially. I think Hera's probably just thinking about, standard nerdy play with the scouts. And running around and using his mobility, basically.
Yeah, I think it makes the most sense. It's nice for the Turks, too, because you do get the free light cav upgrade later. They're pretty tanky scouts against archers.
Your summer is good, too.
So, yeah, that could be good. And Miguel is going to do the same thing. They're both going for a similar build here. Hera's going to show up, see Miguel is a little bit faster than him, and sees the stable, and then Miguel will be looking for the same. But how I would describe Miguel... If he can get that scout mass and find some damage early, he always seems to be good. I think where he struggles to adapt these days compared to the best of the best, which obviously Hera is in 1v1s, is just the transitions out of scouts to the archers or whatever that next step is. That's where he might struggle. But, Villager, this is a Tatar scout on the hill.
He's not getting that, dude.
My God!
Oh, my God, dude. Sit in your little cage and think about what you've done, idiot. I told you he's not getting it.
Well, now the scout's going to run away. Nope. I see what you're doing there, Hera. That was so nice, dude. That was so nice. Viper's on the bench right now, and he's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Oh, that was, I mean,
That was classic.
that
dude.
was
I just had a
amazing.
feeling.
That was
And
amazing, and
it's
that's disappointing for poor Miguel.
it's Miguel as well, and you know Miguel probably better than most people. Probably you know one of the best people that knows him on online anyway, and he's going to be a little demoralized by that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to be like, are you kidding me, right? Like, what in the world is that? Now, you got to hope that you defend from the units that Hera's coming forward with. Since they're both going for scouts, that will be a disadvantage for Miguel. But he did have the staple
Miguel,
up faster.
don't make
so.
the mill. Don't make the second mill. Make a dock there. Make a dock. You can still gather the fish. It only costs an extra 50 wood, and then it gives you the ability to make some navy, either aggressively or in defense. And it makes Hera think. This frustrates me. When they make
I
mills
get
here.
what you love demos. I get it, but I think
No. It makes sense because then you're gonna have to make that third mill as well, which is an additional 50 wood. And if you make the dock in the center there, it covers all this area. You can gather the fish to it.
Yeah, I think like Hera's approach for without even looking at it is probably just going to be just transition into farms, right? And I think that's why I don't love the dock idea. But I think Miguel isn't going to want to do the same thing as Hera here necessarily. He might want to switch it up a little bit, and maybe he can catch Hera off guard.
Right now, with the fish that he's taken, he has more resources collected, right? Just by a small margin, but that's still good. Hera's on that fish at the back end. Doesn't look like he's interested in expanding too much. He's going for the full walls. He does, you are right, he does need to do something different, because if you do the same thing as Hera throughout the entire game, your odds are you're going to lose.
He is tracking Hera nicely. Hera is played very defensive, I must say. He played very aggressive against Lucho in their 1v1s in the semifinal. So I don't think
Lucho didn't stand a chance to.
Dude, it was close though, dude. That game was really close considering. I was really impressed with him, but
Hera's just running in circles around his base. I was like, oh god, that's brutal. And then he took a fight with 3 crossbows against like 7. And
that micro from Hera, it was just such a difference maker.
No ballistics against ballistics too. I know he had thumb ring, but still.
So scouts from Hera on the backside. There's spearmen around for Miguel. Miguel is not walled. His scouts now are on Hera's side. Hera sees this as well. Hera's still adding more scouts at home. And Hera is going to want to fight the individual spears on the hill. But he made it pretty clear that he was going to try and do that. And Miguel tries to get a Vil snipe and doesn't work out for him there with the scouts. I like Cav archers long-term for both civs here, actually. I think Tatars, it feels a little bit more natural. But because they haven't added nurture range just yet, and because walls are going to come down, you could definitely see Cav archer v Cav archer with how this is playing out.
Yeah, and then I think the problem here for Miguel is going to be that the base at the front is wide open. If you're going to play into Cav archers, as Hera is doing the nerdy thing, wandering around, taking out the spearmen, Miguel needs to pull those villagers away. Smart. If he had a dock there, Hera wouldn't be doing this.
Dude, you just got to give it up, dude. You just got to give it up. Oh, man.
Play, bro. It's the correct play. It's an extra 50 wood.
I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna try and change how your brain works at this point. I've known you for too long.
I've seen other players go for dock on this. It's
okay.
Not
well, how
play.
far did these players make it in the tournament? We're in the finals. Where did they lose? Did I just pull the what is your elo? What is their elo?
Listen,
their strategy. I'm listening.
Barbataco's already lost once in this tournament, bro.
Well, they're in the finals, man. It's all good. They're in the finals. Hera gets a snipe. That's 3 Vil snipes. And he's going to be very happy with that. And I want to go back to the map. Like, Miguel is got to feel very uncomfortable. Hera's had so much wood to wall between, and they've kind of played a similar game with it. The front of this base is wide open for him right now. It's really brutal.
What's the downside of making a dock?
50
wood?
I think, personally, the way Miguel has played it, even with the second mill, is incorrect. I think the way Hera played it is optimal. You use 1 mill, and then you transition towards farms. Your Vils aren't exposed to get killed. You save your wood for, like, 150 wood. You save for 3 farms. So it's kind of a mix. I would say you don't do second mill, or you don't do a dock after mill at all. But I think it's kind of negligible. I think at the end of the day, you got to keep your vills safe, regardless of what you're doing. And certainly the mill didn't keep his vills safe. And maybe the dock would have given him that potential, so.
Well, Hera's doing exactly what we thought he would, which is running around with scouts and killing things. And he didn't invest all that much into it. Miguel hasn't found any damage with his. Resources collected still close, but in classic Hera fashion, you know, he's ignoring all this free food income in the shorefish, and he's just got 20 farms.
Yep.
And his eco is going to be better because it's stable, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting eco setup for a Cav Archer switch, so I don't think he'd do it. He's, adding more farms now. So we might see a second stable more than anything. He did just see the ranges, too, so he knows what Miguel's going to do. There's no surprises here.
He's just going to go light cav. Some camels, maybe. Deletes the barracks so he can make another stable.
Yeah, okay. Well, you don't need the barracks with Turks.
I mean, I guess. I guess. Most people would have just, you know, made the stable at another part in the wall, but hey.
Yeah, maybe with any other civ you question that, but there's really not going to be a point where he wants that, so. 3 ranges. I think this is the correct play for Miguel, and I think Hera, he feels very comfortable, and he might even run through the TC to get snipes. Miguel, you got a full wall. You got to be careful here, but like, with the hills, with free thumb ring, I do think Miguel is giving himself his best opportunity here. We feel, this, you know, Hera's in the driver's seat, and he absolutely is. He looks super comfortable, but at least I like the decision-making from Miguel. Now, will it work? We'll see. Hera's just all over him. But 3 ranges is the way. You don't want to go like 1 or 2 here when you're behind. You got to keep moving.
Problem here for Miguel is that Hera's wood lines at the front just cover so much of the map. He's going to have to do so much work to get eco damage.
Yep.
And I think knowing what the map looks like, because he has full scouting, I believe, on Hera's map and the walls, what you have to focus on here, if you're Miguel, even though you've lost those vills, you can't go for eco damage right away. You have to build up a snowball and try and win that way.
Agreed. And I think you're really going to need ballistics at some point, but then you don't want to cut army production for ballistics. So he's a couple steps away from being able to really push it.
It's a weird situation where you need patience, but you also need some sort of urgency.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really, really tough, and it's gonna be difficult for him to balance that.
And it's kind of for Hera, he's trying to distract this army, distract Miguel so he can gain a bigger lead. Yep. I gotta say, like, I know that Light Cav have a bit of extra Pierce armor with the Turks, but it's still a unit that's only 80 HP. So I think Hera might need some camels mixed in, at least a unit that can really chew up the
Well, he
Cav
can mix
archers.
those in at any point, right? He's getting that +2 armor. +2 camels can delay, and he's adding the second TC, and he knows Miguel isn't on his second TC.
Yeah.
So he's just going to expand his eco advantage. The farming for him is so good, dude. 26 farms is crazy.
I mean, he had 1 production building after his barracks for so long. Miguel's got all these buildings, and he's spending so much wood. Like,
this is a problem, though.
This
for Hera
is the point in the game where I'm thinking maybe camels, but maybe the Light Cav can do it. I do think Hera's committed to Light Cav because he's just had to pull off of his gold here, Dave.
All right, Miggy. Let's see what you can do. I mean, he's still got 276 gold in the bank, so that's a few camels right there. He's going for another TC up north. Yeah, he's in buy myself enough time mode to get the eco sorted. Miguel needs some sort of siege or something.
If we reverse the roles, like I try and do this when I'm casting like Viper or Hera. Let's say we reverse the roles and Hera's in the red right now. We've got a lot more confidence this is going to work. We're saying the blue players has 10 villagers idle, right? Completely pushed off of gold. I think that this could be amazing for Miguel. Now, he needs both of his armies together. This is not what he wants, and it could be a trap for Hera. Let's see how the Light Cav do now. They've got full armor, and the Cav Archers can't hit and run anymore. And that engagement for Hera is pretty good. Now, you got Miguel on the other side on the wood line. So Hera will have to deal with that, but that's the key engagement against CA, is you kill half the group, so it can't get to that critical mass of like 25 on you.
Still fine. He got some value, and he's got Cav Archers now at the front as well. Hera's got some monks mixed in, but 3 TCs, man. Miguel either needs siege, he needs to expand his eco, or he needs to go into stone right now and start thinking about a castle.
Yeah. I think he still doesn't feel comfortable with the army numbers. I think one counterattack from Hera at this point with the way Miguel's base is looking, and Miguel is cooked. So Miguel needs to find damage, and so much damage that Hera cannot counterattack, and Hera has to come defend. I don't know, though. I mean, there's walls. Hera can easily pull away from the wood line. There's no immediate damage to be found.
And that
there go the light
gold
cap.
from Miguel.
Yeah. And Miguel does kill a villager or two, but Hera is going to kill more. Nice positioning there from Hera. He gets in front of the Vills. That's exactly how you want to do it. So they can't... You kill them before they get back to the TC.
Die.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Every single villager dies half a second too late for Miguel. Now he's diving in because he's desperate.
Yeah, he has
Hera
to.
might just do the same thing he did before, wall him in, or just collapse on him, right? He's got the monks as well, and Hera is doing perfectly fine. He's got the cav archers trying to cut off the... that light cap trying to cut off the escape routes, and he does snipe one monk, but no damage to be found from Miguel.
Yeah, I think this is probably GG at this point. I also may have had fast forward on and caught up to the spec delay on my side. So looking,
there it is. GG,
looking real
fun.
good for Hera. Yeah, and Hera gets the job done. My apologies, everyone. That it wasn't as much of a spoiler if you're paying attention, though, because it looked super smooth for Hera and like he was just going to get the job done. And that's to be expected, right? These best of 3 1v1s, heavily favored GL here, maybe even more than the 3v3s will. So it'll be probably Dogao or Kingston, well, one of those two, up next. And it'll be either Viper, Doubt, or Tato for GL. There's still no wins on the board. They need 2 1v1 wins to get the first win. Here we are in the second 1v1, and Doubt loves to Vil Rush and Militia Rush here with the Goths. Kingston had a crazy performance with the Bengalis, though, in his semifinal, and a beautiful comeback against ACCM. So no real proper intro here, Dave. It's just like the gloves are off immediately.
I put Kingston in the red.
I'm doing the same.
Because it's easier to see, and I've never seen this map in a 1v1. I've seen plenty of team games on this map, which usually go deep and are like wood games or something like that. But welcome in, everyone. This is Nile Valley. You get 3 farms at the front. You have to build a dock if you want to go for the fish, but a lot of people opt to go for a drush to disrupt the fish early, and that's exactly what Doubt's done with his militia. And I think Kingston won't be surprised to see militia here. Like, he shouldn't be.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Kingston's villager, bro.
He's fine.
He did this yesterday, and he was okay. Sometimes the lions actually block the elephants and help, but they will still want to kill you.
This is good. This is fine. The problem is the drush that's coming in at the same time.
Yeah.
As Doubt tries to block the villager, and Kingston should just abandon that and focus everything on getting these elephants home.
Agreed. You can't lose both. You don't want to try and save both and lose both. So I think you just get the elephants in. You are Bengalis, so you get more Vils later on. And he will actually get them in. And the lions...
Oh, God, he might lose the Vil to that lion.
No! No! Kingston loses the Vil to the lion, so 2 Vils down. Brutal.
Oh, no. Well, the streets are cold, dude.
Well, listen, kind of a funny element to this is that's pretty much what happened yesterday. Look at Kingston block the militia with the fishing ship to the crocodile.
And the other croc is going after... No, the other croc is standing there just looking at the militia on the other side.
What's that?
What's going on? It's defective.
Defective crocodiles. So, bad for Kingston, but it was way worse for him against ACCM yesterday. And he went Phosphor style, man. He got on stone, he built a castle on wood and gold, and he went forward siege workshop with Ratha support, and it somehow beat ACCM. So he will at least have confidence that despite this being a rough start, that he did it before. But Doubt is going to love this start, and he doesn't even know about the lion situation.
Dude, these vultures on this map always trip me out. They go so slow.
They just ate. That's what it is, right? You ever just eat a big meal and then you try and walk somewhere? You're a little bit more lethargic. Bit of a I guess it's not a carb coma for a vulture. It's like a scraps or meat karma. Not karma.
Okay.
Whatever. We're moving on.
Hello?
Dude, my brain just completely switched off there. We're talking about
I'm supposed to
vultures,
be the one that's ill, dude.
crocodiles, there's horses, there's militia and fishing ships, and we're not even at the 6th minute, so.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But a lot of animals to distract and pyramids and stuff on this map.
Well, he's
Kingston
going
goes to stone.
Yeah.
So bring in the elephants. Doubt is just taking the elephants up there. So Doubt's going to take a lot of that hunt over the course of this game.
Mm-hmm. So Doubt did have the benefit of seeing that series, I'm sure. I'd be shocked if Doubt didn't look to see how Kingston played in his previous rounds. ACCM went heavy pressure. He went tower rush. He tried to stop it. And at least in the normal, like, Phosphor style games, I feel like feudal age pressure doesn't tend to work all that well. So maybe Doubt will just say, well, we'll back off here and go Castle Age. But Goths don't really have many exciting bonuses at this stage. The cheaper infantry doesn't really help. I guess the hunt lasting longer is the big thing. But unit-wise, it could be kind of tricky.
Well, feudal age earlier is going to help. Definitely. Getting that first fire galley out is great, and it heals over time. So, real big advantage there for Kingston if he wants to spend it on a fire galley. I mean, he might want to try and just go FC. Let's see what kind of resources he has when he gets there. It doesn't look like he's quite set up for that. I would prefer the fire galley and maybe a few upgrades to come in, and then you work your way towards it.
Doubt is going to gold a little late. So if it's fast castle, he won't be able to do it without market
He's got an
shenanigans.
extra 100. Yeah, he's got an extra 100 stone, though.
Yeah.
Do you start this map with 300 stone?
Yeah, the reason they can go barracks and dock at the same time is because of the extra wood, too. So you start with different res on this map.
Okay, I didn't realize.
Yeah, but it's hard to realize because right when the game starts, the resources are spent. So you don't really see it.
In a 3v3 as well, this map is insane.
Yeah.
It's just so much going on.
I saw that game in the qualifiers where they almost ran out of wood. I think it was the Chileans against somebody.
That was such a good game, dude.
Crazy game.
That was one of the what's the clan name? They had a couple teams in.
Is it Q&A?
No.
Okay.
No.
Combi, one of those teams?
No, I don't think it was Combi.
Okay. Well, we'll look it up.
I will look it up.
But it was...
You talk about stuff.
It was a great game, dude. So, the resources aren't exactly there for Kingston to click up the Castle Age, which was the plan here. He may sell some stone and buy food, but he's trying to... He does make a fire galley. Still not up. Doubt is going to make a scout from the stable. I actually really like that addition. And he will be in Castle Age in no time. Res collected 600 more resources for Doubt. And it is still not looking great for Kingston to click up properly. So I think he's actually idling right now to drop it off. The food from the elephant, and he'll be up soon.
I think it was one of the Zever clan teams.
Ah, Zever. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good, dude. That was a really good game. I mean, the qualifiers were fun because at that point, no one knew anything about the maps. We've seen a lot of things now. We kind of get a feel for strats.
Yep.
But I'm liking Doubt's position currently. Again, he didn't try and overextend against a low eco approach, which is going to be heavy military. He's instead going for an adapted play by adding the scouts. He'll kill a villager with the scouts, and he can get full intel on what Kingston's going to do. And the Goths are one of the best civs in the game if you can just have time to boom. And I think that that's what Doubt is going to do. Just boom and adapt from here based on what he sees.
It's a good thing Kingston's been getting extra vills. Because he's lost 3 already.
This civ is the ultimate it's fine civilization. It's like,
yeah,
you could lose quite a few vills and still be about even with your opponent. The fire galleys, though, is nice.
Game, and you're looking at your tech tree and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, and
something's missing here.
Yeah, that's the thing right now that I'm kind of curious on, right? Is you're probably going to make Ratha, but if Doubt expects that, Doubt could maybe plan a life around Huskarls. I think Huskarls should be pretty good against Ratha because Ratha are a ranged unit, but they also have the melee mode, which could be a
I
problem.
don't know if they'd still get the extra damage when they're in the melee mode.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone can tell us. I know skirms are the go-to unit against Ratha regardless of mode, and that's probably why Doubt is adding the range there. It's a weird unit, dude. It's kind of clunky to use. It can be strong in some scenarios, but it could feel like a waste in other scenarios, the Ratha. So there's the castle. Next to the pyramid. He's ruining our view of the pyramid. Kingston, what are you doing?
Oh, he's enhancing it.
Is he enhancing it?
Yeah, if you get on top of the castle, then you can look down on the pyramid.
Oh, true. You got to pay
Maybe we could set up like a zip line or something in between them.
Dude, a zip line. Nice quick walls, Kingston. He doesn't want to lose a single villager building this castle. And maybe was a little surprised that Doubt decided to run under there. And the castle will go up. Ratha will be on the way. And Doubt expects this.
Castle might go up. Can you please finish the Can you please? The mining camp's great.
There we go. Dave, Kingston snuck a villa cross. This is what he did yesterday. He snuck a villa cross. And look at where Doubt's golds are. If Doubt gets pushed off of that gold, then he's not expecting it. I guess he has gold on the left side, but it would certainly change the game plan a little bit.
Okay, Cav Archer taking out a few villagers on the berries. Kingston is going to have to move away from that. It's amazing on these maps how often people like just don't get stuff like the wood upgrade.
Yeah.
In the team game or in the 1v1. This one you can understand because why would you need a lumber camp with all the trees so close by? But Kingston might forget that for a very long time. Still doesn't have it.
And he's just stretched thin. Look at the res collected. It was a 600 resources lead for Doubt. Now it's almost 2,000. And I love the Cav Archer choice from Doubt. I know that people kind of meme on it because Doubt will always try and go Cav Archers when he can, but Gots have
support.
Great upgrades for Cav Archers compared to some civs, and you need mobility on this map. So let's see. Siege is going to be on the way. First two Ratha arrive to Doubt. Doubt is not expecting this pressure. And the melee mode Ratha gonna find some villager kills here.
Melee mode Ratha is so much better than the range version. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like when it first came out, the range was all people used.
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually look at it now, like the melee mode is just an improved knight, essentially.
Yeah, it's a wood gold knight, and the best timing for a wood gold knight is early castle, and the TC will be denied. Doubt thought he could kill the Ratha, but he didn't know about the siege, and so we arrive to the same situation as yesterday. Kingston has had a rough start. He's lost lots of vills, but he's on siege and monks and Ratha with the Bengalis.
Unfortunately for him, though, he doesn't know about the expansion to the left.
Yeah, true.
So Doubt's going to get all that hunt, and Doubt still has potentially gold to go after there. Gold right near the TC if he gets kicked off of this one.
Doubt's going to be, I guarantee you, Doubt watched the game that Kingston did before. He's going to be so annoyed with himself that Siege Workshop went up. Because he knew what his opponent would do. I'm pretty certain of it. But he thought he had so much control that the villager would never get there. There was no protection for the vill or anything. It was a gamble. But this is tough. Now, if you compare a Cav Archer range mode with Ratha range mode, I think the Ratha is superior. They have 10, or no, it's 5 base attack with range, but 105 HP, which is really strong. And Doubt doesn't even have Bod Canera yet. Doubt is struggling as he panics up a TC here on the stone.
Yep. Still really unable to do any eco damage to Kingston either. The entire economy is protected. I mean, it's only 32 vills, but this feels like a push that can just snowball for Kingston.
Yeah, you need so many answers, right? You need something to kill the monks. You need something to kill the Ratha. You need something to kill the siege. And Doubt is not in a position to do that. He doesn't really have the resources, and his starting TC is going to go down. And it feels like Doubt needs maybe his own siege workshop here to try and kill the siege.
He's going to go for a castle, bro. He's going to go for a castle.
Oh, of course he is. Okay. How is it that...
I think Huskarls are good. If you have the eco for it, and he's still got the hunt over on the left side, right? Like,
yeah. I think where Huskarls will struggle, though, is against the monks. You can't have 4 or 5 monks. You can't deal with 4 or 5 monks, sorry, and the siege. And maybe that's why Doubt's added the scouts. I like this from Doubt. Now, he didn't really engage, but he stalled out Kingston's aggression there temporarily just by making him think he's going to swoop in. So you got to try that if you're Doubt and wait for the stone. But man, this is crazy.
Disheartening situation too. Lost a villager against an elephant. Almost won the 1v1 with a Gothic villager against an elephant, which is pretty impressive to begin with.
Doubt is taking gold out there too, but it's only 3 on gold. I'm not sure how much gold changes anything here for him. And Kingston should know that if he takes out this TC, he's actually got a great chance. He should not focus anywhere else. And he will use the Ratha to defend the monks. Kind of. Well, that's not bad for Doubt.
It's a problem, right? Doubt could go for a forward castle here, but the defensive one makes a whole lot more sense. However, it is Doubt.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure, but there's the defensive castle right there. The Ratha come in, the Mangonels come in. I don't know why Doubt's leaving with that army. As the castle goes up, you kind of need something to buy yourself some time, and it could be a Doubt castle even in defense.
Doubt! Come on, dude! How does this always become a talking point with Doubt every single time? And Kingston will be so happy with this. He's shredding all the vills. The castle will probably still go up.
No, it's Doubt. Of course. Why did he leave with the army?
You don't... I think he expected building the castle with 20 vills was going to be fine. And he didn't think Kingston would get there in time. And he just completely misjudged it. Yikes.
Bro, this might still be a Doubt castle. Hang on a second. Oh, it goes up. Oh, man. My God.
Well, now, after you've killed 40 eco, you don't need to all in anymore. Now, you can just make Ratha. You can maybe think about a second town center yourself. And just full credit to Kingston because he's done this. Like, this wasn't even a surprise this time. And against ACCM, he was also really far behind. So this just seems like a legit strat. His little push on the front is in jeopardy. Doubt.
Not having Bodkin is killing Doubt right now.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think it's fair to say he probably thinks he has Bodkin and it just got too messy?
Yeah, he thinks he does. Yeah, he thinks he does. Yeah, 100%.
He's like, why are these Mangonels not dying fast? And he'll take this one out, but loses 2 more Cav Archers. And it's just a messy situation for Doubt. And the good news for GL is that they have Viper or Tato waiting to play 1v1s if Doubt does lose this game.
Kingston found the stuff on the left. GG.
Yeah, but Doubt is going to realize he's got very little to work with here. Holy cow, what a turnaround, man. Hey, you kind of said it, that Doubt is a pretty streaky player and that he's been on a bit of a rough... He's been in a bit of a rough patch recently.
Yeah,
and
he's trying to use his god powers right now from Age of Mythology, bro.
Yeah.
That guy is currently cooked up on AOM.
It just, from my perspective, it was a simplified game plan from Kingston.
Yeah.
And that's what makes these strategies so strong. You have good units, but everything is just 2 resources. And because of the castle, your eco can never be hit. So you never have to look back at home. You never need to diversify your economy. Whereas Doubt's approach, you need a little bit of every resource. You have to manage multiple TCs. And, well, Doubt is about to lose another TC. And he kind of did this yesterday, too. He doesn't want to accept that he could possibly lose one of these games. He is currently in Berlin with the rest of his teammates, so he probably doesn't want to have to hear them talk trash to him.
He's gonna, even if he wins this game, dude, he's gonna hear him talk trash to him. Like, also pointing out, Kingston doesn't even have a single eco upgrade.
Who needs it? Game. Who needs it?
Yeah, true.
Second TC is coming up, and Doubt's not gonna have TCs pretty soon. I guess the one will never go down, but this is looking pretty painful here for Doubt. I hate to see a player struggle this much. Dude, he doesn't have wood to repair his TC. He's just dropped a market so he could buy wood to keep the TC up. He just now buys it, but the Ratha are here, and they're on melee mode, and they're all gonna die, these villagers. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Come on,
dude,
Doubt.
This is like Moses leading the people out of Egypt.
come on, Doubt.
Have to part the sea of Ratha.
Doubt, it's okay, dude. Like, you have Viper, you have Tato. They can win the 1v1 and still get the point here. He's down to 18 villagers, man. Oh, man. What a turnaround. Well,
Oh, he goes for a lumber camp right into the wrath over here, dude. Just doubt. Give it up.
listen, they're like the best 1v1 player for Barbatacos is still remaining. I know that Viper's still remaining and Tato's still remaining, and most would probably say though either player would maybe be favored against Dogao. But Dogao is definitely the best 1v1 player, and they've saved him for last. He's also had some clutch 1v1 victories in the last 2 rounds. So this could get interesting here. Barbatacos has had a crazy run. I don't think they were expecting to make it to the finals. But maybe Dogao's getting warmed up right now. And Viper or Tato that might start to be feeling some pressure, because there is a sense of expectation, I think, for GL today, right? That they're just expected to win. This is also me trying to find things to talk about, as Doubt is just
He has 16 kills.
floundering. Yeah. Huskarl versus Ratha, I guess, is going to be a nice little test to see how that works. But Doubt is... He has less population than we have played minutes in this game.
He just sold his soul for Squires.
He bought food for Squires. All right, well. You can't lose this TC. That would certainly be enough for him to tap out if he loses this one. And we'll see. But I think numbers are going to be an issue for the Huskarls. He needs to have more. And there's going to be Scorpions as well from Kingston, so he knows. Someone says Doubt with the heart of a lion. I mean, he's memed on so much. He's such a silly personality when he's online. He's so much fun to watch, right? But he is one of the most competitive people I've ever met. And so in this instance, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's frustrated with himself and maybe just doesn't realize based on the score, maybe because of the strategy Kingston's gone for, he's expecting Kingston to be on like 28 vills instead of 50.
Bro, it doesn't matter if he's on 2 vills. He can't take out this army.
Yeah, I know. Well, Doubt wants to make sure we get our money's worth from the final here, as he now has no TC. So, all right. Doubt. Okay, he's bringing his Huskarls back. On a scale of 1 to 10, I believe in Doubt a -2, but before it was a -5. So, it's gotten better. Here we go. Biggest fight of the game. Huskarls will engage. A lot of them die to the siege. We'll see the melee mode switch. This is our test engagement. How do these Ratha do against Huskarls? They actually do amazing against Huskarls. Oh my god. And there's the GG. Well, comeback and a half from Kingston, dude. He lost the villager to the militia. He lost the villager to the lion. And then he lost a couple villagers to the first cav archer numbers. But once he got the siege monks rolling, Doubt never had an answer there. That was crazy. Here we are. The 1v1s have been split 1-1 before between each team. And we have the best player for Barbatacos. Jeez, I can't speak. Dogao playing as the Byzantines. And then here is Viper playing as the Japanese. The map has a lot of penguins. It also has a lot of fish. And you were just saying you really like the Japanese, Dave.
Like the penguin.
Okay. How am I supposed to make that noise? There's no way I could make that noise.
All right.
So where would you dock here as Japanese? The fishing ships are strong, but you don't
Dock
exactly want to
middle.
give the Japanese, the Byzantines an option, right?
You dock the middle.
You think so?
Yeah, you dock the middle. You take the fish in the middle, and then eventually you move out and dock the outside.
Okay. So counter to that, I want to hear kind of what you think. If the Byzantine player sees the fishing ships are right there in front of them, it does leave you kind of exposed, though, right? Against Byzantines?
Not really. I mean, your fishing ships have so much extra HP, and you're going to get that dock up faster because your lumber camp costs less, basically. that you should have an advantage to the next stage, and you should have your fire ship out first, and then you can use your fishing ships to block. I think if you're Byzantines, I'm not certain that you want to be involved in just a contest against Japanese in the middle area, especially when you're going to be adding land units.
Yeah.
And the fishing ships are just so tanky.
I think
It's
that
a huge bonus.
is why, I mean, there's so many reasons to get excited about the fishing ships, but it's the fishing ships and the fact that you can put so much pressure on land simultaneously with Japanese. It's so tough.
Yeah.
And Byzantines don't have a discount on anything here. So Dogawa's going to have to play defense, and then if he holds, I think maybe in Castle Age, that's where you try and kill the fish, but this is Viper we're talking about, and it looks like he is going to dock the middle. So he's not too scared.
And Dogao is going to the outside.
Okay.
Now, the Penguins do attack, but they only have 15 HP, and they only do 1 damage per attack. So basically, they're just going to be humping your leg, and you have to punt them back to whatever iceberg they came from.
Yeah.
And this villager is going to find out, dude. This villager's going to find out. Oh, no!
There's no loom, man.
My man is surrounded.
They do eventually
Get
go
off
back
our ice.
home. They do eventually go back. If they chased you the whole time, that would be brutal. So Dogao realizes he needs to avoid the penguins. Hot take. I enjoy making jokes about penguins and whatnot, but on a map where you need to send villagers out to dock, I don't like the fact that there's things out there that attack you from a player's perspective. I don't love it, but I do love that they don't continue to chase, because that would be absolutely horrible.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. Yeah, they're on defensive stance. They're just defending their little rocky fish area.
I guess that's fair. I mean, they were there first, so what I've noticed on this map is there's a little bit of guessing because it's so critical to push in all the deer. So right now, Dogao doesn't know where Viper's docking. Viper doesn't know where Dogao's docking, and they will find that information out in early feudal. So I think if there was an extra boar or something, you'd see players opt for the scouting info. But I saw, I believe, Capoch, now, funnily enough, it was against Dogao, and he had an interesting approach with the Japanese, and he ended up going... actually, I think he was Byzantines, but it does not really... It could be good with any civ. I think you go 2 docks in the middle, and you actually can make fire galleys just to defend your fish. And once you get 2 fire galleys, you could just spam the fishing ships, like you said, and kind of.
And then eventually you just dock on the outside and start spamming fishing ships there.
Now, what Dogao did that game, which was pretty crazy, he realized his opponent was doing that, and he had opened scouts, and he went for upgrades, and a lot more scouts than Capoch was ever expecting, and he actually killed the fires and fishing ships with the scouts. So that, I doubt we'll see here, but it is an option.
So Viper going for a mill on the outside edge, and that mill is just basically so that he can make a market. I think he would have liked to make a dock there, but it's also cheaper with Japanese mills.
Super cheap.
So that's nice. Yeah, and he's just going to get that extra food income. He should go for scouts for sure. I mean, he's going to have a pretty good feudal age time, but Dogao's up actually first. Viper has to go for an additional villager.
Yeah, now, what Viper isn't going to be able to do on this build is man-at-arms, which is one of the most devastating things Japanese can open with. And on other maps, you won't see man-at-arms as much, but they don't have the fishing in eco there. So I think it could have been an option for Viper. But
I guess Doubt was Bulgarians yesterday. Never mind. That was that's rude.
That's true. So Dogao sees the dock, and Viper is actually using his fishing ship. It looked like, anyways, he was maybe using his fishing ship to see what Dogao has done here. But this is going to be full adapted play from Viper. He is not scouting Dogao, and Dogao finds Viper's dock. He's going to find Viper's base, and he'll have a little bit more information to work with here.
Where's Viper's scout? Okay, it's in the middle. He's going towards Dogao's base. I think he's just going to check to see if there's a dock anywhere in the middle. He's not seeing the fishing ships, and I think he's assuming that Dogao won't dock this center area.
Yeah. And Dogao sees the barracks. So Dogao now knows that there's no threat of man-at-arms, which is a really nice thing to know at this point. And he may opt to go for scouts now. I think if it is man-at-arms, you always open range. Still could do that with the Byzantines. I actually hate Dogao's gold. Holy, I just saw that. But part of that gold is blocked from being taken there.
It'll actually be okay once he gets that wall up. It'll be nice and secure. And he'll probably go for like a lumber camp or something to clear that up anyway.
Yeah, Viper,
He's fine.
Viper sees stable, Dogal sees stable, and this is the type of thing we talked about, getting that information. Viper's adding a fire galley in the middle, but I don't think that's a waste. Like we said, I think that helps protect the fish, and the fish are already pretty strong anyways.
If Dogal sends one spear and you don't have the fire galley, you can't fight it with the fishing ships. So one fire galley there is fine until you need more. Viper probably also thinking about maybe docking the outside edge now and trying to, you know, get a fire galley on the outside so he can potentially harass wherever the dock is from Dogal that he's found with the scout. So he's going to add the dock out there. He can go for a couple fire galleys and then go for a couple extra fish. And because his fishing ships are still bringing in a ton of food, he can keep up that scout production for a very long time.
I think Dogal's going to try and use spearmen here against the fires. They actually do pretty good amounts of damage. I think it's easier to kill a fire ship with spearmen than it would be a Japanese fishing ship at this point, but I'm not sure.
Demo.
Oh, man, Dave. How happy are you to see a demo in queue this early? Viper.
That's just too obvious, though.
You think it's too obvious?
Yeah.
Wait, so you finally get someone to make a demo early, and you're saying it's not a good time?
This is an obvious demo.
Oh my, dude, don't even. Just be happy there's a demo.
You see 3 spears? It's like, yeah, sure. You got to be smarter with your demos, dude.
You're insane. I love it. Well, a demo is going to be baited, I think, here, and let's see how obvious it is. Viper. Oh, see? Yep, too obvious.
Too obvious. And meanwhile, Penguin Patrol over here protecting the fish. Going after the spearmen.
And I guess penguins don't attack fishing ships, so Viper's loving that.
Yeah.
And so far, no kills yet. Viper has to quick wall at home because Dogal comes over to his base, and these two are very close. Reminder, winner of this gets the win for their team before we move into the 3v3s, and this would be huge for Barbatacos. They are the big underdogs here. And
dude, do you think those fishing ships are like throwing little fish overboard for the penguins?
To feed the penguins?
Yeah.
I feel like they deserve it. Viper.
Look at that demo.
Loses a Vil. Loses another Vil, but he does trap the scouts in there. So that is
the demo died.
Pretty decent. And the demo died what? Against one spear?
To a singular spearman, yeah. Like I said, it's too obvious. But the scouts now from Viper are over at the fish from Dogal. And Dogal does not have a fire over there. And these fish do not have 120 HP. So they're going to go down very easily. Really nice job there from Viper. Spearman still pushing forward here from Dogal. Viper's got a spearman and a villager in defense. Trying to go for another demo and trying to bait him into the penguin. That penguin is shouting from the rock, Tristan. What's that?
What's it doing?
Is that penguin still attack? It's going crazy, bro.
I'm trying to see if it's doing damage to something. It doesn't look like it's doing damage. It's just screaming at the top of his lungs right now.
Maybe that's like a husband and wife penguin, and she's like really mad because he was fooling around
with the other penguin.
He looks very...
Viper, demo the penguin so it shuts up, please. just kill the penguin. I may have my own history. That could be an overchop for Dogal, by the way. I don't think Viper checked that. I do have my own history. I played on one of these maps where penguins attack, and I lost Vils, and it was a pain. But that's certainly helped Viper here. The penguins have. Straight up. It's weakened a lot of spears. And Viper having fishing ships, or more fishing ships than Dogal, is a positive. But here comes the fire for Dogal, something that Viper didn't see. And Dogal having to play full defense after losing his scouts. It's crazy how you can kill 2 Vils with scouts, but if you lose your scouts, you just have no control over the game.
The demo just killed a penguin.
Let's go!
It's still shouting. It's still shouting. There we go.
Here we go. Kill it, dude. Come on, Dogal. Kill them. Fire galley from Byzantines on the fire galley from Viper. Viper's going to bring his scouts in to help, as he should. And Viper's going to click up the Castle Age faster. Small advantages for Viper here. Slightly more kills, more army on the field, and a better position as he'll head towards Castle Age. But Byzantines
are on the outside now from Dogal.
I think Byzantines are superior long-term here. So, God, the penguins are annoying me. Kill it. Just kill it. Get rid of it. Please.
Dude, chill.
It's I just don't enjoy it. It's just not fun.
Did you ever watch Pengu as a kid?
Nope, never heard of it. I played Club
You know,
Penguin.
like Pengu, Pengu.
No, I don't think I've ever heard of
You know,
that.
like the claymation
That
What?
was no. Must not have been on the Christian approval list. I don't think I saw it. Walls coming up. Scouts from Viper. Oh, if they get through, this is going to be so frustrating for Dogal. Because Dogal has his spearman running forward, and he's also overchopped the wood line. He does get the quick walls down, though, just in the last second. But the spears need to come back. And good news for Dogal is the fires in the north. Viper completely surprised by this.
Dude, I'm shooketh right now.
By the Penguins, or by the fact that Viper's losing a little bit of water control?
I feel like I don't even know you.
Oh, because I didn't know the Penguin show?
Pengu!
Hey, I'm sorry. What could I say? I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it, man. I apologize.
There's a demo coming out in the north, and the scouts are in on the wood line.
Dude, this game, if Dogal would have just had those walls down a little bit earlier, he'd have nice water control with Byzantines, and he would actually be in a better position here. But Viper scouts get some real damage. A 7-6 eco KD, but it's still anyone's game. I love the Byzantines against the Japanese from this stage onwards.
I don't know, Viper, if he keeps, like, sniping these fish, he might be okay, and if he can manage to add fish of his own, but Dogawa's done a really good job keeping his fish alive in the south, and then keeping those fires up there forward.
Ooh.
Viper trying to add in cav archers now, and Viper losing more fish in the center, too. Nice job.
Yeah, Viper did snipe another Vil there, but the water is an issue for him. And I don't
Japanese
know...
are only good here if you have the fish
Yeah.
in the back. Like, if you don't have any fish, then Japanese, like you said, Byzantines are just going to run all over them.
Well, I do think that Viper's cav archers are going to be able to wreak havoc on the wood lines. Dogal doesn't have a wood line that isn't ranged by the CA, and he doesn't have an archer range for skirms. He doesn't have a siege workshop yet. So, an interesting game here. Viper can... He's a player who, if he has army control, he's not going to go away quietly. But you're right. Only 3 fishing ships with Japanese isn't what he would have wanted at this point. Dogal, 3 TCs, too. Right away. 400 food for Dogal. He's kind of flying at the moment. I'd like to see either an archer range or a siege workshop for Dogal, though. You need something to chip away at the cav archers right now. You can't just let Viper hover around your base and make life awkward.
I mean, the fact he's got the fish in the south is so big. Viper's trying to re-add fish in the center, but without that constant food income, you can't put more villagers onto wood and gold and then just keep spamming the cav archers. This is still a pretty good situation, I think, for Dogal, even though he doesn't have much army on land.
There is actually a hole there next to the blacksmith. Yeah, he has to sort out the army on land. I mean, the efficiency is rough for his economy, but he's producing a lot of vills. So he just needs an army. I say just as if it's easy to stabilize the situation here, start to kill those cav archers, but his blacksmith wasn't up yet. So he needs to get that up. That's at 99%. It's a doubtsmith. And he doesn't have a range yet. And there's going to be another wood line surrounded by the cav archers. You could just tell, even though Dogal has more workers, that Viper's eco has been way more efficient based on resources collected.
Yep. He'd lose the fish again in the center, though.
I think Viper should prioritize. He's got so much control on land. He has to produce and try and snipe fish in the south now.
And he's sending over a fire there, but Dogao's got one patrolling in defense. If he can find that, he'll be able to protect his fish. I like the surround by Viper with the cav archers, but it doesn't feel like he can finish Dogao off. And now the Scorpions are coming out. Finally a stable again from Dogao, a second one, so he can make some camels maybe.
I think the key for Viper would be a forward siege workshop. Because he has all the golds in his vision. He knows that Dogao can't take golds. And Dogao is most likely going to go skirms there or very little siege. Dogao had to sell some resources to be able to get a Scorpion, for example. So Would be a good play for Viper here, but it doesn't feel natural if you don't have the third TC, which Viper's going to do now. Just blinking all around Dogal's minimap right now because Viper's just surrounding him, but he's going to get to a castle at the very least, and he is Byzantines, man, so could be tricky.
Where do you put the castle? I'd love to put it out on that water somewhere, but it looks like it's just going to go behind that front wood line. I don't know. Dogal's sending more villagers out to that wood line where the cav archers are.
I think...
Yikes.
He's patrolling the scorpions, though. They're getting hits. They're also looking on water. Where...
To go next to the stone and the gold there, probably?
I mean, if you can clear up the army first, then you have free reign and free choice. Yeah, the left side, where near the blacksmith, is probably the safe play.
Look in the left corner of the map.
Left corner of the map. The dock?
The villager body underneath the penguin.
Dude, the penguins kill this village. The redock is so important here.
I know.
There actually was more penguins that got involved on the way, it seems. I'm seeing penguin bodies. Still no castle for Dogal. Dogal's gold miners are going to be found by these cav archers that have killed 8 villagers. And even though Viper's lost a lot of cav archers and hasn't been able to get his mass... Oh, Viper runs into the fires! Okay.
Fine, he killed 2 vills.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He's just
and he's going to kill vills on the gold. Viper's done a great job here without fish.
Yeah.
And just using the cav archers, and Dogal did not make that switch fast enough into the siege workshop for scorpions or into like skirmishers or camels. Like not a single camel yet with 2 stables.
I mean, you got penguins attacking your units. You're completely surrounded by Viper. Dogal is clearly overwhelmed right now. And he's going to lose another villager to penguins. Oh my goodness! I'm annoyed for him. But it's part of the map. I guess you have to, prep for penguins here. And panic TC for Dogal and castle on the left. I actually love that castle if he can get it up. It's risky, but that will free up his wood line. It also frees up his gold. And he's still in this, Dave. Only 6 villagers ahead of Viper, but that's still a competitive situation for Dogal.
He's adding some more fish. He's still on stone. He's killed a bunch of cav archers at the back. Viper has added a few more fish up north, but Dogal should be thinking, and he's moving the fires over there, so he's thinking about going towards that. Also might catch these cav archers.
I think Dogal really needs to stop patrolling around with scorpions soon and actually plan around a long-term unit out of an archer ranger stable. I'm okay with camel. I think the best play is probably elite skirm, though. You want to play into ranged units in this matchup. He's never been able to feel like his eco's in a state to make any switches, I guess. That's going to have to happen at some point. And Viper's still going to continue to try and get pressure in on the left side.
What's he moving forward with on the right? Viper's sending a bunch of vills forward. Doesn't have the stone. Is he going to make a TC over there?
I think he's going to guard tower rush here. He's placing a cheeky tower on the left. And that will go up.
Yep, there's the guard tower tech.
Yeah, I think... It's kind of rare we see this, but Castle Age guard tower play could make a lot of sense. Dogal is just not... He doesn't have a lot of map control. And so Viper's going to take the map and try and constrict Dogal to make it even tougher for Dogal to expand.
Was that a snake joke?
No, I didn't actually... I didn't actually think about that. But yeah, occasionally I look smart. There's the tower for Viper. It will be a guard tower. And Dogal's going to counter tower, but again, Dogal's issue is he doesn't have an answer to these cav archers, and Viper is everywhere. He has ballistics. He'll deny Dogal's tower. He'll build another tower. There's siege on the left hill, and
I feel like Dogal made a mistake when he tried to go for a third TC rather than adding in some military on land. And Viper just took full advantage of that.
Well, he's been battling the penguins. He's been, he's had cav archers in 3 different spots around him. Like you said, Viper, he might have lost his fishing ships, which is not ideal for Japanese, but he's made up for it with just crazy aggression the whole time. Like you could tell how much faster he is right now as Dogal loses 5 more villagers underneath that TC.
His macro's been pretty good too. Like I know he's had 7 minutes of idle TC time, but he's had just enough on food to basically keep the TCs running as much as he needs to.
Yep.
even though he lost the fish earlier. He added the farms fairly early, and then obviously just Cav Archer production has been fantastic, and the utilization of those units has been great too. And Dogao has just been a mess, and it continues to be a mess.
When you look at this is a player who thinks, I'm not going to lose this game, right? The guard tower play isn't seen a lot because, you know, players oftentimes maybe doubt that they can get it up. They think maybe I need the stone for other things. The murder holes tech, you don't see that in Castle Age from pros that frequently. Yeah, Viper's just like, this guy's got nothing. I'm dominating him, and I'm going to get the win for my team here.
Yeah.
But he does still need to finish off his opponent in him. And Dogao still has 90 villagers versus 100. So it is still a little closer than maybe the KD suggests. I've seen so many games with Japanese Byzantines where the Japanese player plays twice as good and they still lose. If Byzantines get the faster Imperial Age and Skirm and Bombard Cannon, Japanese can really struggle. So
Dromans could be a factor on this map too.
yeah, true. Yeah, really good timing with that as well. Viper's going to add another Siege Workshop on the right so he can pressure that TC with Siege. Only thing Viper really needs to do is he needs to get gold right now. It says he has 5 on gold. He'll probably fix that soon.
He's just going to sell, and he's going to click up.
Yeah.
Dogao has plenty of food, 15 fishing chips now, but if he wants to go up, he's going to have to sell his stone and some of his wood as well, and he's just too busy to think about going up to him.
Too many things going on. I will say, denying the guard tower near his main gold and now taking down that other guard tower is huge. He's going to lose a bunch more vills next to the tower he just built. But the most important towers for Viper were the towers near the main gold. So that's going to be gone for him. But he does click up to him. Yeah. So Cav Archers are pretty low HP for Viper. 270 HP on this group out of a possible 910. Scorpion could get some nice kills. Oh my goodness. Scorpion is the MVP here. Beautiful job from Dogao. And Dogao clicks up as well. So, I mean, it doesn't seem great.
See that attack round, dude?
I don't know which... Oh, Dogao's attack round?
Yeah, that was the worst attack round I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think he got surprised by Viper's little castle on the side here. We had a pretty doubt castle in the doubt game. I think Viper, even with 4 villagers, is going to be able to get this one up. I think it was Dogao against Sebastian where in the same matchup in Imperial Age, they both full committed to Galleon and Fires in the middle. I think that would be really good here. Oh, God, the Cav Archers got through! Yep. Viper,
there is
stop
a Mangonel there. But the TC, which is the Imp TC, by the way.
Ooh.
Don't worry, he's Byzantines. It does not have any villagers there, so Viper could have hung around and maybe tried to deny that. He pulls the Cav Archers away for the time being, though. Adds more archer ranges behind. That TC is fine.
I have what could be considered a great call out here, but it's bold. Viper is going to open Imperial Age
Hang on a second.
with Shipwright.
TC...
It'll stay up.
The TC has 2 Mangonels attacking it.
It'll stay up. 1,200 HP. 1,000 HP. I think it's good. Is Viper going to open with Shipwright? I was thinking Shipwright would make a lot of sense. So you could just go full Navy in the middle.
Holy, that was close, though. 350 HP on that town center. Oh, my goodness.
Dude, I kind of feel for Dogao here. He's just been surrounded this entire game. Like, he had the 1 scout army in Viper's base, and since then, Viper has just been all over him nonstop. It's impressive he's made it to Imp at this point. He still has 2 castles. He's going to get his techs in and go for skirms. But in a game that matters an awful lot, it really feels to me like this is going to be Viper's victory. And then finally, Gamer Legion gets their win on the board before the 3v3s.
Classic Viper, too. I just see a random monk in the back of Dogao's eco snagging a relic.
Yeah, true. Don't mind if I do.
Excuse me.
Skirmishers aren't quite out yet for Dogao, so he's losing more vills. He's losing vills everywhere, whether it's to guard towers, whether it's to cav archers. There's always 3 different groups for Viper. And he's going to go
There's another monk.
Cavalier. Yeah, Viper might lose that monk to the tower. Oh, but no ballistics.
Yeah, he's gonna snag the relic in the very corner.
No way, man. Dogal's at 80 pop. Dogal, it's just gone from bad to worse here this whole game, and Viper is just so comfortable, dude. He's collected 15,000 more resources, actually. Just crazy.
And now goes for, what, 7 stables as he makes the Cavalier switch. Dogal still doesn't have ballistics, but he will snipe the 1 monk coming back.
I mean,
gets the other one safely.
Cavalier, this kind of reminds me of the Celt Paladin play from back in the day. This is when you know your opponent is hard stuck on one type of unit, and that this attack will end the game. Japanese Cavalier, they do lack the final armor upgrade. You don't get Paladin, so it's not something you see every day. But with these resources, I like the decision from Viper.
Japanese Cavalier is not terrible now that they get bloodlines. Of course, that was a change that was made 8 years ago.
Yeah, I love how we say now that they get bloodlines when it was like 8 years ago. That's just how old we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like going Korean Cavalier, I guess. Koreans, I think, would be one of the worst, or maybe Vikings. But they're not on high up on anyone's tier list here. But Viper knows that Dogal is not in a state to tech switch. Geez, Viper could probably see everything Dogal has, because he's been surrounding him this whole game.
The monk died. Rip.
Oh, rip. Viper won't get the relics. But there's Cavalier. And there's actually cannon galleons for Viper in the middle instead of trebuchets. I love that move. Why not? I think it's smart. If you have army there to protect it, I think it's smart. And he's going to drop some towers.
Well, he's going to go for towers, yeah.
Yeah. Did get Yasama, so the towers are quite strong. And Dogal calls the GG.
Japanese did not get heated shot, but there we go. Okay, so GL takes the first point of the best of 7 after 3 games and an hour and a half. But that was a good performance from Viper. I really thought Dogal was in an excellent position when Viper lost the fish. But I think he miscalculated, not adding any land army. You talked about how the walls were maybe a little bit too late, but I think even early Castle Age, he was in an okay position. He just needed to add something to chase the Cav archers away.
Yeah.
And instead, he was constantly just reacting to whatever
I think he was
Viper
just
was
maybe
doing.
a little too defensive and a little too greedy, but maybe because he lost the 7 vills on the woodline.
Yeah.
I think if he doesn't lose those vills to Viper scouts, he's way ahead. He can add an archer range early and the TC. And then you think, I'm ahead in eco and I control army. When you lose the 7 vills, you think, oh, shoot, like, it doesn't feel natural for me. I mean, he didn't even have the blacksmith either. That was very late. And so sometimes if you're 2 or 3 moves away from going for the army, you just don't do it at all and you hope to survive. That was it. But Viper he just had too much control there. But still, I agree. Good opening, at least for Dogal. GL finally get their win on the board. And it will now be 3v3s. 1v1s obviously benefited GL this whole tournament. And they took the win. And now we move into the team games, game 2. This is Al-Samim. The big thing to know... Al-Samim? Okay, thank you. The big thing to know is the wood is the piles of wood. So there's not actual wood lines. It's wood piles. It's very open. Everyone starts with a mule cart. And I was expecting everyone to go archers here. But Viper does have Romans, so not necessarily the best archer civ on the flank. I wonder if maybe Viper could consider some scorpions here, Dave?
No, sometimes this map, people choose different strategies here. Most of the time it's double archers and 1 scout player, but I've seen double scouts before.
Oh, yeah, and they did it too. They did it as well, so maybe Viper would be prone to go scouts here.
I mean, the thing I look for right away is like where you put your TC, right? Because you can run into problems here. If you put your TC in the open, trying to get it up as soon as possible, that's great. You can get your villagers out right away. But then you aren't protecting either the wood or the gold, and you only have enough stone for 1 tower to protect one of those. And it's going to be very, very open. So if you look around here, like Dogal's got the TC on the gold, Miguel's TC is in the open. TC on the wood line for Kingston. So Kingston and Dogao are fine, but Miguel, if they come to his base, might have some problems.
Yeah, and I noticed last time GL played this, none of them TC'd their wood or their gold, and the other team did. Now, what they did do in that game was double scout, so that's a good reminder. And then they also went for lots of towers. So it was against Wii Sports where like Tato had towers everywhere. Viper had towers everywhere. Leary was way ahead with archers, but he couldn't do damage. So I guess they could go for the same approach here.
Yep. Also, I think if you're not a mule cart civ and you start with a mule cart, you can't get the upgrades from it.
That's
sure.
Good. No, I think you can.
I don't think you can.
I actually do not know. I never thought about that.
But you seem pretty insistent that you think they could.
Well, the reason I said that is because I remember people getting bid-axe on this map, and I didn't recall seeing a lot of lumber camps.
You can't, apparently. Chat is telling me you can't.
How many times
we'll
has
believe them,
chat played this, though?
I mean, sure, dude. How many times have I cast this? And I'm pretty sure you can't.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm okay with being wrong on it. I guess it's something to pay attention to. The big one here, the most important player for GL would be Hera because that is one of their top picks, and Chinese are incredibly strong in his hands. So, making sure his start is smooth is important. And
if you guys are wondering about the random Gaia units, there is a relic in each one of these compounds under the little noose there, the gallows or whatever it is. And these raiders will attack you, but they won't follow you for a distance. They're on defensive mode. So as long as you leave their area, they're fine. You can't bait them over to another player, but they are pretty strong. Yeah.
Once you get to Castle Age, you could kill them off, but I haven't seen
never
relics.
Seen anyone do it.
Yeah, I saw it one time, and it wasn't intentional. They just kind of ran into
I wonder if you
there.
could wonder if you could sneak in there with a warrior priest and not die and just snag the relic.
The pro strategies.
Yeah.
It sounds like a scenario. Probably not something we're going to see them attempt here. Well,
Viper's getting loomed. I guess he was housed.
Yeah, he was housed early. So Viper with a bit of a rough start. Dogao is Mayans. Kingston is Ethiopians. And Miguel is Hindustanis. These are like ideal picks for positions, I'd say. So Barbatako is coming out here swinging. And this is the type of map that they want. Now, it's always tricky. Some people will say you need to change the maps you pick against teams that are good on certain types of maps. I think at this point, because I used to say that all the time.
Bro, look at Hera's... Chill.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but look at Hera's wood supply right now.
I guess it's because
he's bringing wood to the mule cart so that he can make a lumber camp there. Anyway, go on with your point.
No. I think he's just
snagging a scuffed build.
Yeah, a little bit of a scuffed build. But yeah, the main thing is that Barbatakos, they love these maps, and even though GL are also good on these maps, they say, I don't care. I don't care. This is us. So win or lose today, they want to play their game instead of maybe regretting not being able to because they tried to mind game or something like that. So
I don't know if Hera's going to have enough wood for the lumber camp, then the barracks, then the archer range. Like, he's going to really struggle here. He's got a minute.
Yeah, he struggled with the builds I've noticed. Now, the map is hard, right? So it's not like this is a weakness of Hera. I think it's just not maybe being fully used to the map. But you're spot on, dude. He doesn't have a mill yet. He added the lumber camp, which I think means you're correct, because he probably wants double bid-axe. And he needs a barracks, and he needs an archer range. And so Hera could have a pretty brutal start here with one of their best civs.
Well, he's going to get the barracks up a little bit later, but like at this level, late by 30 seconds is a huge deal. It's a big deal on an open map like this.
Yeah, only positive would be Kingston isn't in feudal yet. So Kingston's range will still be much faster than Hera's, but it won't be significant differences here. Dogao making a range, no surprise. Miguel making a stable, no surprise. Viper making a stable, so he'll go scouts. And then Tato also going to go scouts from the pocket. So it's double scout for GL and then Hera on archer. and honestly quite late. And then Kingston and Dogal archers and Miguel scouts. I think you're right. Double Bidax coming in for GL. They did have to make the lumber camp. Interesting point. But let's just see how long it takes for Miguel and Dogal and Kingston to just move out here. If they would have scouted that Hera's ranges were late, which they didn't, I think it could have affected their decisions here. They could be moving out already against somebody.
Maybe.
But they just didn't know about that.
Big walls here from Dogal. Interesting walls. I kind of like it. Doesn't cost that much. Your Mayans, right? And if you can secure yourself here and have the wood and the gold and just focus on your army, I think that's worth for sure. Like some peace of mind on this map goes a long way. Knowing you can't be hit by scouts.
I think Dogal was doing the right thing to mix in additional spearmen. You wouldn't normally see this, but he scouted that Viper's going scouts, and they know Tata will too. So a situation where you want those spears. Viper with a weak Vil here. Miguel snipes the villager. And so it does feel like GL's taking a little bit of time to get moving here. There's the tower, though. Tower from Viper, tower from Tato. So both protecting their front lines here. But Viper protects the
stone.
Viper protects the berries.
He was on stone,
and
so he can afford 2 towers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he needs.
So
his
that's
quick
more
walls.
of a tower to protect kind of the farm situation around
Dude,
there.
this is just not good for Viper at all. He needs his quick walls here. He's gonna lose army or he's gonna lose Vils. He loses another villager. He's gonna lose some scouts trying to save the tower. This is amazing pressure here from Dogal and Miguel. And
no fletching.
It's still a lot of harassment, and maybe I don't know. Maybe it's not worth it in the end. But I think if you get those early kills against Viper, you're gonna be very happy with yourself.
I think if Dogal had fletching there, it would have been a different story. Maybe that tower gets denied a little bit longer. Maybe some of those villagers die, but instead they lose a lot of army, and Viper didn't lose all that many Vils. Important to note that Hera's archer numbers still pretty good because of his advantage to Feudal H over Kingston. So that kind of made up for the little bit of a scuffed build along the way. But Kingston does have better archers with Ethiopians. So let's take a look at the micro between these two. Kind of feels like that side's going to be a stalemate for a while.
Yeah, the Chinese eco is insane. So Kingston's going to need engagements. And he's not going to receive support from Miguel anytime soon. So good luck to you, Kingston. Just have to 1v1 Hera. That's it. But game is close. Populations are close. These two are dancing. What GL's trying to do is just make it really tough for Dogal and Miguel to find damage with these towers. So I'd say it's done the job so far. And Viper could be pretty happy that he doesn't have to defend with army now, that he's got 2 towers up in good locations.
Hera's micro's been better, unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
Although, you know, Ethiopian faster fire rate should come into play at some point. And ooh, Tato's over here with Hera now.
Look at these.
Does Miguel come over to help?
Well, I'm curious on if Kingston knows this. They've made it to the finals here. Their communication's been great. It is a new team. You should communicate what you do and don't see, right? If you don't see Tato anywhere, you should be letting Kingston know that this could happen. Now, hold on. Here comes Miguel, and here comes Dogal, and we've got 3 players coming over here towards Hera, and this is kind of out of the blue. And
Still no
Viper
fletching.
might come over, and yeah, there's fletching now for Dogal.
Punished again.
I think Dogal normally is on 2 ranges this whole time. I think because he's up against scouts, he just went 1 range. But I'm a little surprised here that he isn't on 2 at this point with the Mayans. You really want archer numbers.
That is surprising, isn't it? That's so weird.
I think he wants to go Castle Age way faster, which of course everyone does. But it is at expense of their archer numbers. I don't know, though. Like, do more archers help you right now if the opponent's just towering up? It might be a calculated decision here.
I mean, and all 3 of them have kind of gone for walls. Like, Kingston is fairly secure. Dogal is secure. Miguel has the tower on the wood line, and he's going for walls now. So maybe that's their play, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to hope that GL overinvests in military, and they can sneak the transition in way faster. Still, Dogal is... We're still pretty far away from Castle Age, dude.
Hera is still the key, in my opinion. If Hera has strong archer numbers, Miguel cannot play Castle Age with comfort because he can't make knights. He's stuck on camels. But if they can find engagements against Hera, and they're finding it right now, as Hera doesn't really know where to go right now. Kingston finds 4 villager kills and takes him off of gold.
5.
You know, if Hera's behind Kingston, imagine Miguel. He can 1v2 going camels against Poles and Romans if they're just stuck all night. And a nice engagement here from Dogao and from Miguel over at Tato's base. Maybe it's not as good as I initially thought. Tato had more upgrades. Just snagged bloodlines. But still, Tato's making scouts, and he did just lose some against all of Dogao's spearmen there.
Okay, Hera's getting aggressive against Kingston. And now we look at the archer numbers here. It's 15 archers for Hera. It's only 4 for Kingston.
What
so Kingston
happened?
snagged those villagers. But Kingston found himself in a really unfortunate position there, and he hung around maybe 10 seconds too long.
Oh,
Hera
man.
takes out a bunch of archers, and now those archers are roaming around. And we've got some big problems here. Like, Miguel and Kingston are really going to have to work together to take care of this archer army from Hera.
Dude, I looked away to look at the other army, and then I looked back, and Kingston's got 5 archers. Not even producing anymore. Hera's got 17. What a
He's
change.
going up. Yeah, Kingston's going to try and go up. Dogao's going to try and go up. Miguel's going to be hung out to dry, basically.
Yeah.
On this area.
Well, the tower helps the wood line. He doesn't have a tower on his gold yet. He's trying to get stone. The tower is not enough to scare the scouts from Tato. Tato comes through. Miguel has his own scouts, though, to defend against that. These 5 villagers are so critical. They need to take that stone to a lumber camp or a mule cart fast, because here comes Viper now, and Miguel is absolutely hung out to dry. This is painful for Miguel.
He still hasn't lost that many vills, though. And Kingston is now here. Those walls Miguel put up earlier are coming in clutch because they forced Hera all the way around there. And now they wait. They wait for Castle Age to come in from Kingston and from Dogao and hope that that matters as Miguel tries to buy himself as much time as possible.
Dude, I think Miguel, in all the craziness here, and I agree he's done a good job, he lost track of which villagers had the stone, and he might have misclicked them to the wrong resource or something. He would have had 125 stone if 5 villagers dropped off 10 stone, which he had. He only had 3 villagers drop off 10 stone. He's at 105, which is not a very fitting number if you know the taunts. So he's no gold. He has no real support right now. And Dogao is the only player who's really strong on the team. And he's at least disrupting Tato. But again, only farms. Not killing villagers.
Going into Eagles, I think.
And yeah.
Is he getting the infantry armor? Maybe that's for his spearmen. I don't know.
Might be.
But he's got a good position at the back. At least he's forcing Tato and Viper to keep an eye on him.
Kingston
as Hera
is up.
tries to do everything he can.
Yeah, Kingston's up. I mean, there is that. Miguel's not going to be in Castle Age anytime soon. He had to abandon way too many farms for that. So Ethiopian crossbows, we just keep thinking about that faster firing speed and if that's going to be a difference. And Viper on the way to Castle. He's just denied when building another tower. And now Dogao's up. So yeah, it's about Kingston and Dogao right now. And if they can mass enough archers to bring this one back.
Not going Eagles. It's Pike crossbow for him. Okay.
I do really like the fast ballistics time here. Every crossbow is so valuable for Kingston right now. And for Hera, of course.
Ooh, look at Hera's gold again. Miguel is there. A little bit of revenge from Miguel.
Good work. Hera still has crazy economy, though. He's got so many resources. He has another gold he can use. He could also lose every single archer before he gets the upgrades because of ballistics being in for Kingston.
Kingston needs to go in as aggressive as possible. There's still archers at the back as well from Hera. And Hera's trying to save these. Ballistics is in. Hera just realizes that. He's trying to save as many archers as possible. Also trying to, save the villagers on the gold there as he gets to the Castle Age and can only go for crossbow.
And crossbow. I imagine Bodkin will come in a moment and ballistics, but that's a lot of exposed eco for Hera. He did sneak away with the other group with Tato, and they're heading back towards Miguel. So Miguel's not going to have a nice time. But Hera losing villagers against Kingston, and he's turned it around, Dave. If he denies the university, Hera won't be able to get ballistics either, which has been a big difference maker here.
Oh boy, Hera's in big trouble here, man.
And
he's
also
at the back of Miguel's base again, but I mean, that's really his only army at the moment. Oh, I guess he's got army at home, but still much damage from Kingston and Miguel.
I love how Dogal's gone Pikeman because he knows Viper's stuck on Cav, but Viper had a lot of Cav and killed one of the armies anyways. Pikeman, same problem with crossbows. They can't necessarily dive underneath towers, and that's going to be a continuous theme here for GL. They have towers to defend, and the crossbows for Kingston will be cleared up by Tato. Allows Hera to stabilize. And
Tato is the key player right now for GL because he's got Polish farms. Look at how many he has, 36, and he's producing from 3 stables. He's about to be Castle Age.
Yeah, and they really, I don't know if they can deal with Tato and Castle Age. Tato just killed more villagers on Miguel. What a game from Tato here. Just propping up Viper when need be. Propping up Hera when need be. And Miguel is... He doesn't have any army right now, Dave. He's about to reach Castle with 0 scouts. And then Tato reaches Castle Age with 25 scouts.
Uh-oh. Hera just got ballistics. And now the defensive army here from Kingston getting cleared up.
Yeah,
At the back, Kingston doesn't really have anything forward anymore. He had some good damage there. Dogal's got his castle up now, but I mean, Tato's eco is still insane. And all those scouts are going to become light cav.
And Dogal's distracted right now with the micro on the front. He does quick wall, so he'll keep the light cav out. Well played. But GL just has a really significant army lead right now. And I know the Vil count doesn't show it, but I think they have a massive eco lead as well, just because of resources brought in here. With Poles and Chinese and Romans with their efficiency, they're going to be able to fly. Tato's going to 3 TCs right away.
And he's got towers everywhere, too.
Yeah.
Like 6 towers defensively from Tato.
The tower approach on a map where it's double archer is really smart. I think the one player that struggled the most has been Hera, and that's because he was the one who didn't tower. I guess he had his own archers, but so here's the dancing. Remember, Miguel can't get anywhere near archers with camels. They'll get shredded, so he's just acting as if he's going to, but Hera's just ignoring him. And Hera's taking some really good fights here against Kingston. He has the numbers, he has the upgrades, and Miguel can't help because he doesn't have a Night Civ.
And here comes Tato.
Yeah, Tato's going to come in here. I don't even know, even with Hera having 9 crossbows, I don't even know if that's worth it for Miguel to go in against them. He doesn't have the upgrades. Viper is Scorpion pushing Dogal right now with the Romans. Look at the Knights and the light cav he has. Dogal could easily lose that TC. He's under pressure now.
I mean, he's got the +2 armor as well. It's going to be
rough.
really, really tough for Dogal to deal with this. He's going to need a hero mangonel, basically.
And also, Dogal doesn't really have the army to stop Viper from diving to snipe the mangonel with the cav. So that might be Viper's immediate choice. Kingston is 5 army, is surrounded by Tato, is surrounded by Hera. And Dogal, you better have that hero mangonel now, because your teammates, they're struggling on the other side.
Just look at like the eco efficiency. Look at the upgrades.
Yeah,
nothing.
They've just had
for
so
Barbatacos.
much eco. And big
That's
fight.
a 0 mangonel right there.
Big fight. There's camels, there's pikes. They're in the group, but the Scorpions really help out, and Viper's upgrade's so strong, and Viper holds on his own here against 2 players that are pretty much maxed out, which just allows Hera and Tato to have the time of their lives. Yeah,
like,
Tato.
Tato's eco is insane. He's going now for the castle. He could go for the privileges and just spam knights if he wants to, or go up to imp, or they could just call GG.
Yep, GG. I mean, they've been super far behind for a long time. I think when Kingston lost that big group of archers, that was when I knew early Castle Age was going to have to be the difference maker. They had good moments this game, Barbatacos. They really did. They killed villagers from Viper. They applied lots of pressure to Hera. I think Tato was really the one who carried the team. His Poles build order here and his scout spam was just crazy, man. And Tato was always there to help out. Not to mention Hera and Viper, while they did lose Vils, they took the economic approach this game. They got eco upgrades, and they were patient, whereas Barbatacos just kind of went all in.
Yep.
But I think for Barbatacos, that's what they're going to have to do here. Gamer Legion is just too good. They're going to need to just have better fights and keep their armies alive. But great game from GL there. Tato collecting 23k res and Viper 20k. And then you had Miguel and Kingston down at 14,000 there. So this really got hit hard. When Miguel got doubled in Feudal, that one hurt as well.
Man, this map, I've been triggered so many times by the fact that people win water and then they just refuse to. It's like they forget that they can sail up the sandy terrain on each side. It's like they just forget. It's like this invisible barrier there that so many people have forgotten about. But anyway, we're in. Barbatacos trying to get a win here. Britain Saracens, Armenians. And then on the GL side, we got Franks, Vietnamese, and Persians. So Dogao will likely try and contest water a little bit, although he'll probably still go for land army, as is usually the case on the flank. Viper will probably do the same thing. And then Hera going archers, Tato going cavalry, and then the same thing for the Britons and the... Well, maybe the Saracens will try to go fast castle or make scouts or archers. I don't know. A little bit flexible there.
Yeah, I mean, if you have Saracens, you could kind of do either. I think the team bonus, though, of doing... Or just, sorry, the bonus of doing so much damage against buildings is amazing against team walls. So I think you want foot archers here. Now, I agree with you. I think that eventually water becomes very strong here. I think that's a big reason Dogao has Armenians, actually. He did have Vikings in one of the previous rounds, and he went longboats, and it just shredded. So they certainly experienced that. I feel like the Age of Empires gods, or God, I don't know how many Age of Empires gods there are, but they got together, and they threw Barbatacos a bone here, because look at the gold situation for Viper. It's not going to be easy for him. It's not going to be easy for Hera either. If they just want to have this cool, relaxed game against a lot of aggression.
Switching Hera to red and Viper to yellow.
Do you want to do that?
That's what I'm doing, because last game when Viper was red, dude, I was getting real confused.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I think everyone will be somewhat happy with that.
Yeah, his gold is kind of, it's really ugly. Let's not lie.
It's rough. Yeah. So, especially if Viper's playing some type of a water role where he docks first and has to diversify how he focuses, it will be rather tricky for him. So that's fine.
Will he see this shore fish? Does Viper see that? He does. Okay, that's fortunate, because if he kept going along the shoreline, there wasn't going to be another fish forever. So he's going to find that, wall the villager in right away, which is good, because how many times I've seen people lose their dock villager here. It's insane.
Some teams actually really set out to just kill that vill. Like, they would get the timing down, and they would send their scout there for a good reason. Dogao's not building his dock.
Yeah, he's done the classic thing where he thought he shift queued it, but it didn't register, and now we're going to have to figure out how long it takes him. And he's going to be behind by about a fishing ship. That's fine.
That's fine. Not a big deal. His mule cart was cheaper. It's fine. But yeah, I think the hardest role to play is Dogao and Viper's role, this position. Having that combo where you feel like you have to at least make one fire galley and you have to dock and make fishing ships, but then you also are the most vulnerable to attacks because you won't have army, and it's just odd. But I could definitely see Viper going scouts, and yeah, I guess scouts for Persians makes the most sense. Tato will probably definitely go scouts with Franks. And then Hera archers in the middle seems pretty good.
The thing I've noticed is that you have to go land army really quick on that flank position. You can't just focus water.
Yeah,
like
agreed.
You're just leaving your teammates out to dry. And usually if you only focus water, you're the one that dies first on land. Like really hard. Like even if you have 12 fishing ships, you're only going to have 12 vills. Because you have nothing to defend yourself.
The only time, and we're not going to see it here, but the only time I saw the flank go full water and it looked good for the team was you have the flank go full water and then they go full stonewall and then full sling. So they win water. That was
a Chinese team, I think.
Yeah, it was Yo's team. So Lick's just won water. He stonewalled, so he didn't die. And then all of his resources went to Vivi and Yo. But that is not how either team is going to approach this here. So we'll see what the pressure looks like. I saw a signal from GL, I think, pointing out the opening between the bases where Kingston may be taking gold. If you look at their scouting, you could see they saw that gold. So that's probably where they're going to want to run in with their scouts.
Well, they saw 2 golds there, so they know that there's odds are there's going to be Dogao and Kingston hanging out there, and that's like the area you want to get in.
And Hera, Viper, Tato, they're all lingering around with their scouts, and they're going to try and group up here on somebody, which I think every team should really be doing. But the best teams will always try and do that. And Kingston he doesn't have any defense for this. Even just 2 scouts and he could lose villagers. So he's got to be careful. But I actually see Miguel's scout is around. Kingston trying to quick wall. And he gets the quick walls down. Nice.
Nice. Okay, so Feudal Age in for everybody but Dogao.
Hera's range is a little bit far behind. Thing we're talking about, right? We got villagers exposed for Hera. Hera should lose a Vill. We might see a crazy quick wall, but that should be a dead Vill as long as the attacks continue. That should be a dead Vill. That should be a dead Vill. It should be a dead Vill. And range delayed there. Yeah.
She died. Sorry.
It's all right. This is why I didn't make the penguin noise. You wonder why I didn't make the penguin noise? Because you're going to make fun of my noise.
Okay. If Barbitacos gets 2 points, are you still making the penguin noise?
Yep.
Nice.
Even though I didn't get anything out of this, I'll do it.
Stone walls here for Barbitacos, and stone walls are a good idea. I would love to see stone walls on the other side too, and we see stone walls from Tato, notably because the other team has the Saracen team bonus.
Yes.
So Palisade walls are just going to be ripped right through if that Archer mask gets up there.
Yep, I agree. I think it's smart. I think like both teams showing a lot of respect for each other. The worst thing you can do is spend all this time in resource walling just for someone to break through, and there's just so much to wall that Palisade walls are just simply not enough.
Villager from Dogao maybe tried to come forward for a dock, but she got denied by the fire, and she's going back again. You better stone wall in that Vill so she can't get hit by the fire damage.
Scouts from Tato being tracked by Miguel. But Miguel needs to quickly tap down these walls because Tato's gone away from him. Come on, Miguel. Miguel, this would be brutal,
going
dude.
After the Dockville from Dogao as well. He doesn't notice her.
Viper didn't notice her, and Miguel noticed last second, so he didn't seem to realize the scouts for Tato were going in there, and then he placed the houses. That was a huge save, dude. If he gets through, those 2 Vills are dead, and then Tato's going to head over to Kingston and everybody else, so...
Dogao also saves that villager on the dock. That's sick. Nice job from Dogao.
Yeah. Viper didn't add more than just 1 fire ship, and Miguel is making multiple. The Vill will die now, of course, because you mentioned it, but Viper's scouts had to all go over there to do that. So Dogao should know he has a little bit of time to get his walls down. Hera's also on the way. These stone walls have to complete. Otherwise, big problems for Dogao, who has no land army, by the way, Dave. So he is stonewalling. He is winning water. We might actually see a sling situation after all. And 100 HP stonewall's not enough. You need more HP on this. The archers from Hera are here. Viper could still consider going through the palisade. Oh, God, don't tell me. Make a demo, Dogao. They back away.
Too obvious.
Too obvious, dude. I can't get over the fact you said that. That's so funny.
No, what you do there, if you really want to keep them away, the demo's never going to get any value because they're not going to hang around there long enough. If you want to keep them away from that area, you make a single fishing ship in the dock and it just has a flag.
Do you know how many times you've suggested someone make a demo when it's clear
it's too obvious
that there's not going to be any value from said demo?
Well, that's because you can't see the value. It's not my fault that you lack vision.
I'll work on that, all right?
Yeah.
I'll work on that. It's always been a weakness. So, Market Blacksmith for Dogao. He just wants to go Castle Age. Lots of army knocking at the door here. From Tato and Hera. Viper's been around as well. I wonder what Dogao's plan might be here. I mean, he's going to hold water control. He can send ships around back, but I guess because Armenians have such an awkward tech tree, their archers are kind of meh. Their knights are meh. He just wants to boom.
Viper is being accosted
by two tigers.
Come over here. Yeah, exactly. Tigers, sorry.
Oh,
And
Viper's gonna
go
tree
and
hop.
chop the
He's gonna tree hop.
He's gonna chop the tree, dude.
No way.
Watch this not work for some reason. Watch it just not work.
Oh,
it does.
my God.
my
Viper
God.
tree hops. No. And that's gotta be game over. He walked across the whole map for that. And GL are through. And Dogao is going to be so frustrated with himself that he didn't wall behind that tree. That was sick. And that's a long way to walk as well for something that might not end up working out. And now all this army, like this army was walled out. This army was supposed to be useless. Upgrades would have been useless. And now it affects everybody.
I could just hear when that happened and Dogao told them, I could hear Miguel sigh. You know that sigh that he was like, ah.
Yeah. Yeah, Dogao probably sighing as well. This is, oh, man. Yeah. It's a shame for Barbatacos because I really like their position with their Castle Age times.
Yep.
Like, Viper wasn't up yet. I think the Armenian player would have had a nice boom. They would have been.
They still haven't died yet. And, I mean, there's still 9 fishing ships and he's adding 2 more from Dogao.
Yeah, that's true. But what they can't do now, and this is the key, is the scouts get through. There's a hole in the trees. What they can't do, Dave, is they can't use any army to disrupt GL, which they so badly needed. Disaster in Miguel's Woodline. The Gamer Legion, such crazy army
the gold
count
from
right
Kingston
now.
as well.
And yeah. Beautiful play, dude. It's crazy that they decided to do that because it felt like...
And Viper has 2 stables behind enemy lines with Persians.
Walked in with the Ville?
Yeah. Well, where else is he going to go? Back to the Tigers?
I mean, I just think you should give the villager a rest after dealing with 2 tigers and chopping down that whole tree. But Viper...
Listen, when Frodo got stabbed by Shelob, did he stop? No, he went to Mount Doom, dude.
Dude, I feel so bad for Barbatacos right now. But I am also in love with what we just saw. I'm so conflicted. It's going to be rough from here. Eco is untouched for Hera and Tato and Viper, as they will make it to Castle Age. And I think if they have any hope, they need to kill Hera's archers before the knights come out combined with these archers and Hera gets the upgrades.
I don't think it's going to happen. Viper's now on that TC as the camels come in.
Pain.
The scouts are here from Tato to run cover a little bit. Hera is getting the upgrades. They're trying to kill these as fast as they can, but the archers have found a nice little nook to sit in. Kingston is here with some archers of his own as Hera micros that down.
Yep. And meanwhile, Dogao can't really help because he has no army, and he's just saying, sorry, boys. My bad. And it's looking even worse for them. They don't even know that Viper is going to send in knights yet. They're going to find out in a second and be very confused. Like, Dogao, I thought you walled this. He's like, I did re-wall it.
Tato has 4 TCs behind.
Yeah. Yeah, Tato can just free boom, and Viper and Hera have done so much. And maybe, obviously, things have not gone as they would have wanted these things to go, the games to go, particularly this game.
Dogao is getting coinage. Are they going to sling somebody?
But yeah, there's a sling. They got it. Somebody deserves to be paid for Dogao's mistake. There must be reparations here.
Yeah.
Do you pay the guy who took the most damage just because you feel bad? Or do you pay the guy who can help the team most? I guess... Well, the question is who's taking the most damage, because Miguel and Kingston are both being brutalized right now. I think it's probably well beyond over at this point after that army got in.
I love the vision there from Viper. You know, he was probably so excited. You know, he's probably hasn't been that excited about anything in this tournament so far.
Agreed.
Then I'm going to chop that tree and we're all going to go in.
Yep. And I wonder what the team discourse was like. Like, when Viper says that, it wouldn't surprise me if Hera's like, nah, dude, don't, nah, it's fine. We don't need it. And Viper's like, no, trust me, it'll work.
And Tats was just on board immediately. Like, okay.
Well, what is so crazy about that is I saw GL still making army, and it didn't make sense to me. Because the opponent was walled. And then I saw upgrades get clicked, and I was like, what? And that was right when they noticed the tree still was a wall behind it. They were all there, so. And they were all there. It wasn't just like one army got through. All 3 players were there at the same moment. And now...
Tato's trading.
Yeah, Tato doesn't need to support with army at all for the next 20 minutes, and they're completely fine. He's going to go crazy here. And still
Stable
Viper
production for
pushing.
the camels. Crossbows coming in from Hera to deal with said camels. Viper's still being very distracting, and the biggest threat right now to Barbatakos is Tato, and they can't do anything about it.
Yep. And Hera is actually through with these crossbows, which gives them an answer to these crazy camels that Miguel has with the Saracens. Kingston has taken too many losses. He doesn't have archers. And it's gonna be tough for Barbatakos to truly believe in the dream. If the dream was there coming into the finals after this one, because this is just, it's not just a 3-0, but I think it's how it happened. It is a mistake in Dogal's mind, dude. And yeah, they lost to a tree. That's a good way of saying it. So, because there's a tendency, if you just get outplayed, that obviously doesn't feel good. To just get played out off the map. But when you had control of what happened here in some ways, there might be a little bit of frustration that sets in. And also, you might just be like, we were 9th seed. Getting 2nd place isn't all that bad, which I'm sure is how they'll feel afterwards. Nice clear up from Miguel and Kingston. They clear up Hera's crossbows now. So that's great. But Hera also has a really nice economy, as he also has been able to stop making army. And I think
Tato doesn't even have the speed upgrade for his trade. He's just making them.
Yeah, just getting the trade boom.
All right.
Very rare that the Vietnamese player can justify waiting for rats and archers and stop making army, because you're expected to have pressure all the time. It's very rare that like Viper could just also have very little army and just build TCs in the middle of this
They have
map.
8 army. Yeah.
It's just they have so much control. They know that they could just boom almost 100 more eco than Barbatakos right now. What is Tato doing? Like, what is that castle, dude?
This is just GL knowing that they've done so much damage and they're in such a good position. Now they're just like, all right, whatever.
It doesn't matter. They
doesn't
can just...
matter.
Viper will probably need to make some army, or Hera will need to make some army, because the Knights are going to be through from Miguel here. Viper had a hole that he chopped through that wood line. We will see some Viper quick walls here, of course. No better time to. But nice counterattack from Miguel, who's receiving Sling. Let's not forget that. So he's receiving resources, all the resources Dogal brings in, and that's 86 eco. So there's reasons to be greedy, but at some point, military is going to need to show up at home here, GL. And Viper's losing a lot, man. There's a lot he's in his TCs.
3 military.
And he's got no answer here. Yeah.
They've got more trade than military as a team.
That's not a stat we're going to see another time. Tato, get your speed upgrade on your trade cards, dude. Oh, they're going to see that too and see their trading. Yeah, they have it now. Wow, Viper's not in a good spot. Hera's probably saying, I'm on the way. He'll be making rats and archers. And Tato is throwing Axeman. Now, I would never suggest throwing Axeman, but against Saracen camels, maybe it's something you want to do. And then also, if you're up 2-0, if you have such a big eco, maybe you could also just do it just because. But it's an Axeman push from Tato, who's been top scorer in every game he's played here today. He's played amazing.
Axemen are sick, dude. One of my favorite units to use.
Yeah, I agree.
But you need like 40 of them.
Yeah, and they're a little overshadowed by other units like Gebeto and Chakrams these days.
You need a lot, unfortunately.
More raids in the back from Miguel. Miguel's maybe killed 20, 30 villagers with this little raid. Hera's going to chase that down. And Miguel sees it's going to be Axeman. Maybe wants to click Imp here. But his heart is going to sink when he sees that Tato is going to beat him to it by 3 minutes. Tato's almost in Imp right now. Nice crossbow raids as well from Kingston. So yeah, the lack of army has hurt GL here. Viper has lost more than he would have liked, but Hera and Tato are going to be in a great spot.
Bearded axe coming in. I like my axes with facial hair.
You want to hear...
And, yeah.
You want to hear something that's wild? So 2 days ago, there was a tree hop in a game. And I thought it was cool because it reminded me of a Viper game from 13 years ago. So I just, like 2 days ago, recorded this little bit and went back to this game. It was Viper versus Iori. It was a cast by Zero Empires. And then Viper just tree hops here in a grand final. Some things never change, I guess.
Nice.
It's so cool. It's a frustrating detail as, again, villagers are dying. Villagers are dying. The axemen are slow. There's still no army here. But it is always nice to see the occasional tree hop.
Mameluke versus Axeman.
Mameluke all the way, dude.
No, Axemen are better.
Well, you played more... it depends on...
Unless you have... Okay, if you have Elite Mameluke and you have 40 versus 40, you can get in close with the Mamelukes. But if it's normal... Like, fast speed, that works better. Normal speed, and you're dicking around with micro and stuff, the Axemen are better because of more range.
I think...
And they fire faster.
In the same resources spent, Axemen are probably better, but...
Yeah.
Which is obviously... That's the opposite circumstance here, too. Tato can afford to make more units. Yeah. And... Miguel is probably going to lose his castles, but I remember quite a few CBA games with Axemen and Mamelukes, and Viper is now going elephants.
That's fast speed, though. Normal speed's a completely different animal.
That's true.
You can micro more on normal.
Well, here comes the elephants from Viper. GL, I think, know they have this one in the bag. I'm honestly a little shocked Barber Tacos didn't tap out at this point, and maybe GL feeling the same, so they're having their fun. Winning is fun. They're going to do that, it seems, today. But also making Axemen, Rattan Archers, Elephants, 3 unique units on the field. Also pretty fun way to get the job done, too. Going for the style points, I guess. Is Barber Tacos just straight up defeated mentally right now? Is that what's happening?
I think so. I think so, yeah.
They don't have army, and yeah, there's no eco for Miguel soon, and the GG's called. Great play there from GL to go for the tree hop. It got them through what otherwise could have been a tricky situation. I do think the plan for Dogao was to stonewall, boom, and sling, but then every single player got wrecked by the Feudal Age army, and GL did what they do with their amazing players. So 3-0 here for Gamer Legion. And there will be at least one more game. Hopefully for Barber Tacos, they can get something on the board, but you just can't wall using a tree, dude. Togal's been around long enough to know that.
They call the GG. They're down
mistake.
by 3 because of a tree.
They lost to a tree. And and Dogao is saying F me. I don't know. So game 4 is here. Yesterday we had a TC situation in the north, but remember you have the town huts, these little huts that are town centers as well, and then you could build an actual TC. Gamer Legion's on the left side, and we have Viper in the yellow. He's going to the north for the hunt.
It's going forward, bruh.
And Doubt's going to Vil Rush again. So Dave, explain the strategy here, because this whole map's crazy. Talk to me about it.
So there's a couple things you can do. You start with that hut that you can produce villagers out of. It's important to note that you can't set waypoints. They always come out as a fisherman. You can set the waypoint, but they won't automatically start working. Also, you can't get loom or go up to the next age with it. But it does only have 500 HP. So if you take out that hut early, you can basically deny 2 TC production from your enemies. However, Doubt hasn't started making his TC yet. So he's going to douche this. And he's going to take out this hut. But his TC is going to be a lot later than Kingston's is.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been collecting resources here. So while Kingston's going to lose that hut or yurt or whatever it is, Doubt will lose the advantage early of gathering with all those fills. And he might be too far behind.
Is Dogao and Viper's TCs in range in the north? Or are they just out of range?
I think they might just be out of range.
Just out of range, because it would be a restart if these TCs range each other.
Doubt's going to take this out.
So Doubt is he's the YOLO sacrificial lamb for the team right now. He is ideally going to do this against multiple players. And Kingstone is going to try and keep his alive.
Kingston's repairing, but he can't, he needs villagers on wood if he wants to keep this alive.
And they can't attack Doubt because Doubt has his TC there. They don't know Doubt has his TC there right now. And they're about to find out. And Doubt doesn't actually have a lot of vills he can garrison, which makes it interesting. But this is multiple players having to deal with Doubt's craziness, and that's what Gamer Legion want to set up Tato and Viper and win the finals here.
I think you do more damage by having those villagers in the TC firing at it, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, it's going to go down. So now Kingston's on his normal TC. The other thing to remember is Kingston is trying to go fast feudal for water control, which is Tato's role. So Tato is completely unaffected, and now Tato can win water for the team. So this is already a much better start than when Doubt tried this the previous time. I think you were
Doubt can continue onwards towards the other huts, but Miguel has made his town center right beside his hut, so that is something that Doubt cannot do unless he deletes his TC and goes for another one. But right now he's got 0 wood. He is not on wood.
True, dude. That's
has to take the reeds near his TC just so he can afford a lumber camp somewhere.
Dude, that's crazy. The TC on the hut may be a very important thing we look back on. And Dogao, meanwhile, is able to produce with his hut because Gamer Legion don't know where it is.
Uh-oh. Tato's found the other hut from Dogao, and Dogao had a bunch of idle villagers there.
Yeah, he did. And Miguel's about to have a bunch of idle villagers as well. Everyone's going to have idle villagers except for Viper and for Tato. And Tato's clicked up already. He is with the Portuguese going to go for water. He has walled in Kingston's villager.
Oh, I saw that.
And will kill that. Oh,
nope.
You can walk over that. I forgot about that. Okay, well, the villager's going to get away. Oh, that's a detail we missed. There's so much to say here, but a big thing to remember is it's probably fast castle drop from Viper and Dogao in the north. So we're going to see maybe houses to block castle foundations and a whole lot of ridiculous stuff up there too.
Doubt has... How much wood has Doubt collected this game? Let's take a look. 50. Nice.
But, dude, Barbatacos have been so affected by this. Kingston is going to struggle against Tato because of it. Dogao, I think, might be pop-capped soon in a second because he lost some huts and he's losing houses and he lost his TC. And Viper, like, if you give Viper time to cook with Mongols and all these boars, it's going to be devastating. And it's been the perfect plan so far, in my opinion.
Yeah. He's going to be so fast to Castle Age. He's going to get that castle up on Dogao's TC up there.
Yeah. So Doubt's situation is kind of calculated. It's okay. He's not going to have a great population, but neither is like 2 or 3 players on the other team. Just annoying to play against here.
You know what Dogao almost needs to do? Douche Viper right now.
True. Honestly, might be a good play.
Shut him down, bro. Shut him down. Like, you can't let him sit there.
Yeah.
If you see his feudal age time, like, you can't let him get up to Castle Age, but I don't know if that's even enough. Like, Viper could just repair long enough, right?
So all of Barbatacos are going to lose water because Kingston's not fighting on water. He's actually going forward archers. Now, if you look at what's around this archery range, there's a lot of things here. There's Doubt villagers, there's Viper villagers, and Viper's not going to have army. So this could work. But Tato's going to have a free fish boom. And should just his population is going to skyrocket over the next couple minutes. It is a must. It is a need for Kingston. If they have any chance at getting a win here, they have. He has to kill with archers.
Dowd is now foraging the berries so he can get in on Kingston's villagers, and he's in.
Oh, man. And Kingston's trying to go archer still. The roles are simplified. Kingston has had multiple things to do. Dogao has had multiple things to do. For Tato, he just wins water. For Viper, he goes for fast castle drop. And then Doubt is just the chaos that will never stop. A lovely little spot here from Viper, by the way. Tato communicated that there was no water control from Kingston. They found the ranges, and they should know now that archers are going to be out. But I don't think Dogao makes it to Castle Age, bro. I think it's that bad. I think he's so far behind that Viper might even petard. If it's 2-2 and it's been really close, Viper doesn't go petard. But Viper at 3-0, he's going to delay Mangadai production, go petards, right?
Yep.
He has to. You would do it regardless of the scoreline. You've done it to me.
Oh, it's not a risk, dude. A petard is not a big investment.
Yeah.
If you see your opponent's still feudal age and you know they only have one TC, like, make a couple petards if you've got a castle on them anyway.
I agree. It is something that you don't see a lot of pro players do, but Viper doesn't know the castle age time of Dogao. It might be pretty close. Dogao's just clicked up.
He does know the feudal age time, and he knows when he clicked up.
True.
So Viper might indeed know.
Yeah, that's true.
What's going on. And Dogao is doing the right thing. He's making houses where the castle should go from Viper. He can't get super close, though.
Yeah, he loses 2 vills because of it, and Viper can still drop the castle in a perfect spot right next to his TC, and there it is. So even if Viper doesn't delay Castle Age from Dogao, which he might not now, it will take out Dogao's TC, and there will be Mangadai around, and that's going to be a problem.
Dowd is still killing houses. Kingston is killing the hut TC from Viper, and Viper honestly has done better than most people keeping that thing producing. Most people just stop with that one.
Well, Viper's he's being towered now by Kingston off the gold. There's also scouts from Miguel, so Miguel's going to have some support of the archers here. And here comes Doubt to help. Doubt's like, let me help you, Viper. He's bringing the bills. And it's kind of needed, too. It'll help against the tower. And there's no petard, but the Mangadai just goes right over to the villagers that are stuck on the wood line between the boars anyways. And it's looking very close to even I don't know, maybe no GG call. They fought along in the previous game, but it's not looking good.
The bills are stuck behind the boars, bro, on the wood line.
They actually can't escape? And, okay, well, that's one way to free them. Send them to the afterlife. Dogao already felt like this was bad. And Gamer Legion win the finals 4-0. However, even though it maybe didn't look like it for those that just watched the finals, I do want to commend Barbatacos for an amazing tournament. They were the 9th seed. They had some great wins, and they overperformed massively. GL,
yeah,
they did have some tough games in this tournament, but they were the big favorites coming into it. And
honestly,
their players
comes
are just
back
so
to
good.
that tree. They lost to a tree. I think if they had gotten some momentum, maybe they could have done something, right? The 1v1 segment was 1-1. It's fine. But yeah, all of the wind just got taken out of their sails as soon as they got in through that tree in the last game.
Yeah. And I think it would have been a real uphill battle here, not only in this game, but they'd have to win 3 straight. And I would imagine that once the Barbatacos team made the final, they would have said, dude, we're probably going to lose to GL, but we're 2nd place. This is above expectations, and they might have already been satisfied with the situation. So maybe not the most competitive final ever, but still a really fun tournament. I know initially there was some criticism because of how different some of the maps were. And I get that in some cases, but the teams that prepared and practiced came up with some really cool things. There was a lot of depth to the map, many of the maps, sorry. And so I did really enjoy this tournament. It was really well done.
The Maps were sick, dude. Really, really good. Like even the ones I disliked, there was a bunch of good games on them.
Hmm.
There was never really boring. Yeah, and shout out to the admins of the tournament. I mean, Ornlu, T West, I think Huey was involved as well. There's a big long list. Let
Yeah,
me see.
Nacho and Lord Petito, I think,
Nacho.
involved. I
Yep.
think we might have got them all. They did a lot of work, guys, hosting events, adminning, dealing with some of the extracurriculars that happen that you guys don't normally see. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress. So if you get an opportunity, thank them for everything they put into it. And obviously, I hope you guys enjoyed the cast as well. I had fun. I'm really happy for Barber Tacos. Gamer Legion got to show us some cool stuff today, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's a surprise that this was a sweep today. It was pretty expected just because GL are that good. So
I think if anything, sorry, my bad. T West was not an admin here. It was Ornlu and Nacho. If anything, like some of the teams that didn't make it to the finals were surprising, right? Like LY
yeah,
not making it here.
there were some upsets early, and I think it came down maybe to lack of practice on some of the wackiness of the maps because there are some talented players who didn't have they got killed off before they figured it out, right? And that is kind of what Yo's team looked like to me. Though, funnily enough, Yo's team got knocked out by the B team, the LYB team. So
LYB team was good. Ming, Bagqual, and Jibatong were good. They did well.
yeah, they've always been good, but they needed a result to remind people how good they were, and they got it against their like the kings of China almost. And I know some people are talking about maybe the matchups and why was the final lopsided, this and that. Remember, it was double elim, right? So if you felt like maybe the quarterfinal matchups weren't how you would have wanted the things to flow, Wii Sports, who gave Gamer Legion their toughest task, Wii Sports lost in the earlier brackets. They fell to Fox, fell into the losers bracket, which
So
is
did
why they
Gamer Legion,
ended up being up
right?
against GL. So
No, Gamer Legion did not lose.
no,
Okay.
Gamer Legion never lost a set. So because it always goes winners against
Yeah.
losers. So there were a lot of close sets early. I felt like even the semifinals, even though they were both 4-1, the games were way closer than the scoreline suggested. Even with GL versus Dreamers, because GL had that crazy comeback. Barber Tacos, my insanity, every game was super close. 2 of the wins for Barber Tacos were comeback victories. So